Welcome to the show, everybody. The Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Show, where Dr. Fantastic is in Marina Del Rey, California. You see a beautiful view of the marina there. We've got Thunder in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. And we've got Mission Control in Australia with Stan. Stan, I'm going to have to work on your last name. It's a pretty tough one for me. How do you say it?
It's Siamolis with a silent T.
Siamolis. Stanley Siamolis. He's in Mission Control in Australia. So we're broadcasting from a couple of different continents. We have scheduled today a Michael Horn, who is the publicist for Billy Meyer. If you've got the email and you've heard about it, we had him scheduled for today, but because of certain technical difficulties, he has been rescheduled for next week. So this week we're going to talk about UFOs. We're going to talk about numerology. We're going to talk about being fantastic, and we're going to talk about Helidium Labs and their technologies to make the world a better place. So I'm going to start off with Be Fantastic, because that's how it all came to be. I think Stanley's fantastic, and I think Thunder's fantastic, and we have a lot of audience that's fantastic. We have 672 as of this morning people in the movement to be fantastic. Being fantastic is a mental state of pollinating positivity. The logo is a bee with two thumbs up and a smile, if you've seen it. It's a beautiful logo. And when you are fantastic, you're thinking positive. Positive thoughts manifest positive actions. Conversely, negative thoughts manifest negative actions. So a fantastic person is an extremely positive person. They're the type of person that will let somebody in traffic, hold doors open for people, think about their neighbors, and care about the environment and the planet. We have some dogs barking. I think the Thunder went outside for a nice view, and he's got dogs chasing him. So basically, the Fantastic Movement started just a few months ago. People see the logic of it. When you say the word fantastic, it's really one of the few words that put a smile on your face. And a smile is extremely important to a healthy lifestyle, to thinking positively. When you smile, the brain releases neural messaging units. And those neural messaging units are called endorphins, the dopamine, and the serotonin. And they are very important to being happy. Matter of fact, if you don't have enough serotonin, it's been proven to lead to clinical depression. So a smile releases all those three endorphins, and it also releases stress in your body. So by saying fantastic, by thinking fantastic, you are going to be happier and live a lot longer. You're also never going to be forgotten. If you've ever met anyone that's fantastic, you've never forgotten them. You're going to do better in business. If you're in sales, you're going to sell more. If you're in management, you're going to get better respect. You are going to never be forgotten in life. I think I said that already. There's just lots of benefits to being fantastic. But more importantly, it's paying it forward. Even when you're not feeling great, say you're fantastic. It puts a smile on your face. It makes other people feel good. And it's called karma, doing well to others. So that's the Be Fantastic movement. From the Be Fantastic movement, we gave birth to this podcast. And today's the first webcast of the podcast. And basically, we want to bring you technologies and information that will make your life better, improve your mind, improve your body, and improve the planet. And I want to go over to Stanley, because I'm not sure if Thunder outside is ready for his speech. But Stanley has a great passion in making your life better and more healthy through numerology. So Stanley, why don't you take over and tell the listening audience what great technology you have to improve their lives through numerology.
Yes, thank you, Monty. Very well put as well. I like the way you're always thinking positive. You've got positive backdrops, so you know from a marketing angle how to apply what you're doing in terms of being fantastic. So, I never really mastered that word. It was always really awesome, but it's funny how, like, when you do say fantastic, it actually does put a bigger smile on your face. So, it's a great way to learn. I always love learning like a child. I'm always teaching and learning at the same time. But the beautiful thing is with numerology, just in your own aspect, Monty, is you're running a very good year this year, but you happen to be on a lower cycle of more of the negative ones. It has positive, neutral, negative cycles within days, months, and years. So even though this is a little bit of a negative cycle, which means frustration or having to do twice, you're still, because we have free will. It's our free will how we apply things. You're still applying positivity in your 6 month, but even though you're in an 8 year. So that's very good because when we try to be fantastic, this is what I'm learning also, try to be positive and fantastic, you stay in that realm of attracting what I call light forces as opposed to dark forces. So guardian, guides, angels, and what have you. So what I've managed to do is show this in people through numbers, and then they begin to test it themselves and maneuver themselves in life through numerology, through just basically knowing just their date of birth, and they can profile with other people with this identity number, their first number in the ESP code. So when they know that, they can maneuver in life, in personal life, in business life, in the day, month, or year, or travel, or doing a checkup, or holding a seminar or a webinar, or on a call like we're doing, or any combination you can think of, or which location they're living in, or traveling in, or where their office is. So when you know this, but the beautiful thing is when you're applying fantastic attitude all the time, even on the negative side, because it still allows you to pull through and persevere. So what I've created with the numerology is just something that's I'm trying to really help people to know who they are themselves, to then not allow other wrong messages to come into the mind, or allow fear, greed, indecision, jealousy to be wrongly put in their mind, because water communicates, and water is that's why we have telepathy and cosmic consciousness. And what's happening on the planet, there's a lot of confusion, and these energies are conflicting everywhere. And that's why it's even more important, as Socrates says, and not just Socrates, even though I have a Greek background, know thyself, but all the ancient sages, all the ancient esoteric spirituality methodologies say this. Even in the ancient religions, they all say it in their own way. And what I'm trying to say to people is monetize your passion and be happy, because when you do what you love in your passion, which I can show through numbers, people become healthy by a byproduct. And when you add what you're doing with positivity all the time and the vast array of contacts that you have, it's very important to stay on that path. So, and that's why I like what you're doing with the show, Monty, because you've got a really good grasp of different speakers in different methodologies and expertise. So this can help, just any call that they can hop onto Dr. Fantastic and Funder can help people in whatever they may be looking for. And sometimes, when you go through that night, you just meet that person, or you come across a situation just at the right moment when you needed to pivot for the next movement. So I'm all for what you're doing in terms of the fantastic movement, because whether we realize it or not, or the people you're interviewing realize it or not, there's meant to be that meeting to help people, but it's our free will to be discerning of this and open to it, to then now go to the next step. So that's what I do with the numerology, and what I've created with the numerological course, Monty. So my mission is to get it to 10 million people, and I've created a 2-level affiliate marketing program around it, because I like the aspect of marketing and the affiliate aspect to help people as fast as possible. So I'm about speed, I'm about simplicity, and I'm about synchronicity, which is what I talk about in my 3-vision triangle. So I'm all for what you're doing here, and I try to help as many people as I can. Sometimes people get the wrong idea about the way I talk, or how fast I talk, or the wisdom that I'm doing. They always judge, and instead of just stepping back and not judging and not condemning something that they may not be aware of, or asking people, a lot of different wrong thoughts in people's minds can dissipate when you just be open and front, black and white with people, and then the wrong things that they've been thinking can dissipate, and you can continue focusing on creativity, not just stupidity, is what I'm talking about. And that's what the human and humanity needs to push forward, because there's so much information on the internet. People are having extreme trouble discerning going and seeking truth. And shows like what you're doing now can help so many people to open up their eyes to this type of content, and then go, okay, what's the next step I need? Okay, I can handle that bit. I'll do this next step, and then I can handle that next step. But because you're interviewing so many different people, it's going to help a lot of people in the moment for what they're doing. So it's a bit about what I'm doing, Monty.
That's great. That's fantastic. Thunder is out in the field. Thunder, if you could turn your camera around to see what you're seeing, that would be probably better. Or lift the camera up at a higher angle so you look a lot more handsomer. But I would turn it around so we can see what your view is. But anyway, Thunder, tell the world about applied quantum mechanics and how we're helping the world through your technologies.
Well, this is, I was just thinking how such a cool little fit all three of these are when they're really such subtle changes in all aspects. Dr. Fantastic tells people to have a fantastic day is a subtle, it's a subtle message that starts to work on the body. When Stan does someone's numbers and gets a grasp of energy patterns and fields, these are subtle advantages. So we have mind, spirit. We have mind, body, and planet. And then I also come in to do these slight alterations in pollution as using subtle energies. And the impact of all three of these are enormous. A subtle energy field, no matter how small, has a rippling effect that can change all of our species. They go very complex. And for a lot of our listeners, this is there's all aspects. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand saying something as simple as, I'm fantastic today has a positive effect. Education starts to continue the overall lessons. Like these northeastern autumns are really quite beautiful, these trees. Remarkable colors. Subtle changes make a huge difference. If they stayed the same color, autumn wouldn't be as beautiful. So
can you describe?
We had
Can you describe to the layman quantum mechanics as we apply it to the holograms that we're giving out, like the EMF reducer?
I think of quantum mechanics as a field, not like a football field, but like a force field, and it can remarkably stretch this force field kind of everywhere if you could understand that there's a map to quantum mechanics. So we can use this force field of energy fields to change behavioral patterns of certain elements and get certain reactions of these fields to help us. So, for instance, let's say in the cell phone radiation reduction, we use a counter field. And when I say counter field, that means it's a force field that's countering the effects that the cell phone EMF is doing. And so by doing that, you cancel the effects, you cancel the problem. So we would design a frequency, send that frequency to your cell phone in the form of a text energy field. Well, it's just a picture. Where is the energy in this field? In quantum mechanics, it's an unseen energy field that goes with the text message to the phone. And then it opens that field in a quantum way. So that now that field is opened and blocking off the frequencies excuse me, of the cell phone, then we know that the field is working and the person using the phone is safe. So quantum mechanics are like in a similar to the way a magnet works. It's that energy between the refrigerator and the magnet. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
And now we've been able to harness that area and to write different software programs or algorithms that affect that field so that we can more or less fine-tune that area.
Right.
Is a good way of saying it. And when you fine-tune the area, or let's say anti-fluorine, well, that's a good hologram that one can put on top of their kitchen sink and have a free fluorine-free tap coming out of your water.
That's great. Okay, so I think we've touched on the fact that we all have three great things we bring to the table. What's really great is that we're going to have guests that are going to bring even more to the table. It's all about introducing technologies and information. Information is king. And next week we're going to have Michael Horn talk about, I think, all three of one of our favorite subjects, which is UFOs. So I'm going to start off talking about some UFO experiences I have, and then Stan, you could follow that up with some experiences and some stories and information you might have on ufology. And then we're going to finish with Thunder telling us about his 20-year research on Billy Meyer, who's going to be the subject of next week's podcast. And we probably have a podcast or two between here and next week. But ufology, I have been watching a lot of documentaries. And obviously there's a lot of, with video, you can fake a lot of stuff. But when I've heard enough speeches from astronauts and presidents and politicians and scientists and engineers, you have to have your head in the sand not to know what's going on out there. I love the show Ancient Aliens because it talks about the physical artifacts of our history. A hammer that's 500 million years old, hundreds of thousands of year old drawings of spacecraft and flying vehicles and chariots from the skies. Christopher Columbus saw a light come out of the ocean and shoot to the heavens without any noise when he was crossing to visit or to discover America. So, and the pyramids, I mean, we could talk a whole couple episodes on pyramids, but my son saw a UFO a couple months ago. His wife saw it first. It was an orb floating in the backyard at night, about the size of a softball, and it shot off to the horizon. Now, I don't know about you, but I think any human sees that, they're going to be astounded, especially when there's no sound to it. It's not a drone. And she yelled for her husband, my son, because what she just saw with her own two eyes. And as she's describing what was going on, it came back, hovered again, and then shot off to the mountains that are about 5 miles from them in a second. So to me, when a level-headed family member sees something like this, it really tells me a lot. And I've interviewed on Uplifting Interviews with Total Strangers on my YouTube channel, my other one, 3 or 4 people that have seen them personally. One was a pilot at 35,000 feet with a full crew in the cockpit. They saw something fly across the horizon in a couple seconds, which is faster than any human vehicles are going today. And they all saw it, and they radioed the tower, and the tower saw nothing on radar, which was probably, if you blinked, you didn't see it on radar. And so those kind of stories always fascinate me. I met an astronaut. What was it? Bud Collins? Well, not Bud Collins. It's what's the name? Anyway, and he's, there's a lot of NASA tapes where they're describing things that were hidden from the government. So anyway, so that's a couple of little stories about my experiences with UFO. Stanley, why don't you chime in there with a couple anecdotes on ufology?
I'm not a word expert on this field. It's just I've cross-referenced and done a little bit of research, but I've never seen a UFO personally myself. I've seen Eric von Braun and a couple of the other people documentaries and cross-reference, look at other people who debunk them, just discerning my own decisions, what have you. But in terms of my belief, in terms of what I think a subject that parallels it is the Earth, in terms of what ancient wisdoms and ancient religions have said in texts, in terms of it being fixed, and the firmament and so forth, and us not being able to penetrate certain layers through the sky. However, do extraterrestrials or UFO have technologies that they can penetrate through? Possibly, because I've just looked at different societies that talk of satellite big ships from Mars that our radar can't pick up, but they're there. And you hear of other people where I've cross-referenced heaps of people on YouTube now. You just get night goggles, you can look up and you can see moving lights moving extremely fast. I have heard a few stories of people in Sydney seeing some stuff. We know about September 11, there may have been something there. Others say it may have been even hologram technology. Thunder would know more about that. However, from speaking to people, like what I do with astrology and numerology, I always say the ancient societies always looked up. Everyone always looked up to the stars. And you look at different very well-educated scientific people, and from different religion and backgrounds. When I've been to, say, expos here in Sydney, mind, body, spirit, you just cross-reference to different people, and you're thinking, wow, these people have a background that may be Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, Muslim, Jewish, or something, but now they're talking about something else a little bit different. Okay, I'm open to a cross-reference. So what I do is basically showing people the energy through numbers, and I'll dabble a little bit and look into the UFO, because then you see something on YouTube, but then you see something from a respectable person, go, oh, I'll take a look at that, and just begin to cross-reference. So I have a feeling that they have technology state they can see us come through the firmament or the Valence belt, whatever you may call it, and possibly they're on different planes, because I've looked at the ancient Buddhist map. There's different Earth-like continents above our flat plane, above the Antarctic plains. When I referenced this about a year and a half ago, and I'm a big believer in as above, so below, as within, so without. But when I say that, it's not a demonic thing. It's got to do with our life. Our cellular structure is a derivative of the energies that are from these planets, and the sun and moon are the main energies. Now, whether there's extraterrestrial or alien technologies on these different planets like Venus or Jupiter or Saturn, like you're seeing out there, and they have machines and ships that penetrate through and watch us. If you look at ancient societies, like you said, Christopher Columbus, for example, or just many different sightings, you look at the air runway in Peru and you're thinking how they do that. We have so many evidence on Earth ourselves that cross-reference to different things, like even Atlantis and Lemuria. Why haven't we been open to this? And now you're seeing things like political people and presidential people talking about space technologies. Space technologies, I do believe technology is suppressed. I have Orthodox background, Greek Orthodox background. You're thinking, why is the Russian Orthodox, which is there's 5 different main patriarchs, why is the Russian Orthodox priest going to Antarctica? What's his involvement? Why are they trying to bring back Orthodox and Catholic type of religion from the schism that happened 1,000 years ago? And I think, I'm talking about religion, but it's not about talking about that. But why are these even religious people going to Antarctica? Why is all this there? And then you think of technology that may or may not been there. But all these, I believe, has a connection to some sort of extraterrestrial being or technologies that maybe are guiding humanity that we're not aware of, that high-profile people are. So my belief is science and religion goes hand in hand. Astrology and astronomy go hand in hand. Ancient texts and ancient religious texts talk about this. So what I've just managed to do in simplistic form is show people through numbers, which is energy, how they can know themselves, to be able to penetrate through a lot of this misinformation day in, day out, because there's so much confusion on the planet, fear, greed, jealousy, and indecision, that it's causing people. That's why what you're doing with the fantastic stuff, what Thunder's doing with his quantum mechanics stuff, is a way of opening people up to positivity, simplicity. So I don't have any personal experience, but from cross-referencing, there's something there when you're seeing, like you said, very respectable, logical, scientific people talking about things. So I'm all for learning about this topic.
Very good. Now, Thunder is going to talk about... Thunder, I want you to go as far back as you can when you first heard about Billy Meyer, and then bring us up to speed. But while he's talking about it, Mission Control, Stanley, can you bring up some images of things that he'll be discussing, like images of Mr. Myers and aliens and what have you, if you can? Thunder, take it away.
Yeah, the first time I think my daughter Gina was 3 years old, and walked into a convenience store, and this lady says, "Oh my, your daughter, she is a returned soul, and she knows a lot of things." And are you familiar with the Pleiadians? And my first thought was, stranger danger, stranger danger. Keep away from my kid, lady. Like any other parent should, I guess. And I remember walking out of the store, and I go, "What was that lady boasting? Pleiadian? Huh." Now, I'm sort of, interested in a lot of different understandings of things around the world, but this was a word I'd never heard before, so I started to look it up, and things started resonating kind of real. I didn't know why. It was kind of weird. It's like, never heard of this word, and here there's look at this. Here's a one-armed farmer who's got the best photographs of UFOs I've ever seen. So this goes back to about 93? Yeah. A couple days later, I saw the lady again in the parking lot. And this time I wasn't quite as rude. I wasn't with my daughter. I was walking across the parking lot alone. And I said, "Hey, I looked up the little organization there the other day and found some good stuff to read." And looks interesting. And then she handed me a cassette tape that was Jordan Maxwell, and said, "Just return it if you see me here in the neighborhood." Okay, sure will. Did you lose audio with me?
No, we're here. We got you.
Okay. I'm switching on the video cycle, so I didn't know if you just lost me there. I started listening to, this Jordan Maxwell and researching what Billy Meyer was doing. Gosh, over the next 60 days, it was a whirlwind, and the next thing I knew, I had a representative for Billy Meyer staying in my house for about 5 or 6 days while he was giving a slide presentation out in Vegas. Just speaking with Michael Horn here earlier today, we were going over some people that we had similar, that we both knew out there. And I chuckled how I'd forgotten a friend of mine, Mary Jane, who we called Midge. Midge was one lady who she lived out on she lived with Billy Meyer for a good couple of years, and which a lot of people do. So it's gonna be an awesome show. It's that paranormal subject that I just really love. I'm switching back and forth here. I'm having problems getting back on Ring Central, so I do apologize.
No, we hear you fine. I don't think there's a video of it. That's okay. We're watching images that Stanley's providing. Stanley, what is the show on the Pleiades? How do you spell Pleiades?
I've seen it spelled a little bit differently, but I believe it's Pleadians, but it can also be Pleiadians. So I think there's 2 spellings. I'm not sure if Thunder may know.
And is that girl there, Pleiades? Is that what they're saying there, or what?
Yeah, this is an image I put up. This is something of what a Pleiadian may look like.
That's my last wife.
You're looking at a picture of a little blonde chick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who Billy communicated with. A lady named Pamaji.
There we go. This reminds me of the Madonna. There's a picture of the Madonna painted by a very famous artist, and in the background, about that size, is a flying saucer that size, and with a man on the ground pointing to it, with a dog standing next to him. And that painting is, 1,000 years old or some ridiculous amount. And they didn't have flying saucers, according 1,000 years ago, but he painted it in the famous picture called Madonna.
Is it also related to the Aryan race that, like, say, Hitler in World War II was talking about, or the Nordic people, that they look like this, sort of blonde, blue-green eye type thing?
Yeah, Stanley, pull up Madonna UFO. You'll see it's pretty much amazingly like that picture there.
Well, it's on every cave wall. It's on a lot of paintings from back in the day.
Yeah, there it is. See? What year is that?
St. Giovanni or Madonna. The year... I'm not sure the year, but I
think it's 1600 or something. 2 years ago.
Are you familiar with the secrets of Fatima? Fatima, Spain, 1919, with the 3 little girls?
That's Fatima. Was that in Spain?
That was in Fatima, Spain, yeah. And these 3 girls, the sun was documented by over 100,000 people jumping all over the sky. 3 angels appeared and delivered 3 messages, 1 each week, and the Vatican has sealed the 3rd secret of Fatima. Which, if we really boil down, it looks like they were world wars. Sad to bring it on, but that's what why the Vatican sealed the 3rd.
Sure. Hey, Stanley.
They found the prophecy of the
Google 1942 Washington D.C. UFO.
Okay, just going back on that.
That was Arnold. He was a photographer up there. He coined the phrase flying discs or flying saucers.
Right.
Because they look like...
Right. He saw 9 of them.
His last name was Arnold.
I think he saw 9 of them.
50. Is it 42 or 52?
1942. Well, that may be the 1942 battle over Los Angeles. I'm thinking. There was a
52 UFO incident in Washington.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
Third,
they showed like a dozen.
Sealed secret thunder with World War III. It's also been written that all 3 world wars have been articulated and planned purposely. So there's the third one coming, or we're currently in the third one. What are the thoughts?
Yeah, makes sense.
There was maybe it was 1942 battle over Los Angeles. Do that. They had a UFO.
There was a 62 battle over L.A.
Well, 1942 they had one during as well because they thought it was the Japanese, and they had like 6,000 rounds of ammunition shooting at this thing over Los Angeles. And
at it. Yeah, for hours.
See that picture there? That's a picture of it right there, I think. Yeah, it was in the newspaper, and thousands of rounds of ammunition, and they didn't hit it.
I mean, there's Cape Girardeau, Missouri. There's cases up in Canada, down in Mexico. I mean, there's so.
What about the Phoenix Lights? What do you know about the Phoenix Lights, Thunder? 30,000 people saw a craft about a quarter of a mile wide, slowly gliding over Phoenix. 30,000 witnesses. It's called the Phoenix Lights.
March 7th, March 13th in 97. I remember that day very well. I was listening to Coast Radio when Sean David Martin was predicting that a UFO would pop over Phoenix tonight. And Sean was right, so that was a little weird.
And so you've got that on the date, Thunder, March 13, 97. I just pulled it up Wikipedia. Exact date, March 13, 97, in Mexican state of Sonora.
I'm an encyclopedia on this stuff, guys.
We're not denying that.
Well, that's why we're talking about it. But if anyone does just a little research, they and most people just ignore the whole ufology thing. Crop circles, there's a couple people that made crop circles on their own. So now everyone thinks they're fake because 2 guys from England were able to fake a few of them. But there's thousands of them around the world that appear overnight, and I don't think these guys have the budget to travel around the world and every night create crop circles that would take literally days, if not longer, to create these intricate. And if you look at the intricate designs, if you look at the stalks of the plant in a crop circle, they're not bent or broken. They grow sideways, and this occurs overnight.
Right. And a lot of, being a farmer in the Midwest, there's more crop circles that are done that no one talks about because insurance won't cover the damage, and then the further damage is caused by all the people that want to walk out and look at the crop circles. So a lot of farmers keep it hush-hush, and there's a lot more cases than people realize.
So how do you, like this one here's in Indonesia, for example, it's the third world sort of country. Look at the symmetry and the geometry in that. How do you know the difference, like you said, Monty, the difference in if it's a fake one or a real one? Like some of these, you're thinking, what technology machinery can create such precision?
And they're created in minutes, literally. And I believe they're just a force field that is a language. Matter of fact, I saw one time they have a rock that was I don't know if that very, very old and had a carving on it, and it duplicated a crop circle exactly. So that's pretty wild. How could you have a crop circle and a rock with a drawing on it that's exactly the same? It's mind-boggling.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. I have seen that. And the other thing about crop circles is you got to realize that there's a gentleman out of, I think he's out of Australia, in fact, Stan. He was a pilot, and what he did is he put crop circles, and he placed them out on top of his 33 turntable. And when you spin the crop circles, it's like when you flip pages, and you got pictures of Disney up in the corner, how he moves. When you spin the crop circle in a circular pattern, there was a new alphabet language that emerged right out of these crop circles. And when he did them in sequence of dates around the world, he was able to put together an alphabet. Then later took some of that work and engineered a hyperdrive craft using the knowledge that he gained from crop circles in spinning them on a turntable. The guy should have won a Nobel Prize that year. Then magically disappeared. So, yeah, there's been a lot of research out there. Linda Moulton Howe, she's one of my favorite researchers on cattle mutation and crop circle. Linda Moulton Howe, she's a fantastic. The days of investigative journalism are almost far and few between anymore.
So you met Linda?
Linda Moulton Howe, no, I've never met her. She is my favorite, though.
We should get her on the show.
It's funny, you say that in Synchronicity Thunder. I know a very influential person here in Australia that's into a lot of technologies, as I've mentioned to you, and he also mentioned to me, watch this clip of a video from this lady, and it was her, Linda.
Linda Moulton Howe, yeah, she's pretty on point. She does a lot of ancient mystery shows. She's on Young TV, stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yay.
Well, guys, we have 3 minutes to close out the show. I think we covered a little bit of ufology, a little bit of fantasticity, a little bit of numerology, a little bit of helidium. I think we introduced the show, what we're trying to accomplish.
So this is the show that Thunder will be interviewing?
Is that Michael? Okay. Does he represent anyone else besides Billy, do you know, as a publicist?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay.
No, to my knowledge, no.
What's the internet say? Mission Control?
I don't know. See, Michael Thorne is the authorized American media representative.
Award-winning film director, film producer. Wow.
Scientific researcher, yes, humorist, teacher, writer, media guest. So, pioneer commercial representative with Starbucks. Well, it's got a few things. Michael's a creative spirit, so I guess consultant, banks, corporates. I guess we'll know next week.
Yeah,
let's
all think of some questions that we could ask him and get as much knowledge as we can from him for our listening audience. We've got a minute and a half to close out the show, guys. Any closing thoughts?
Just keep always looking up at the sky. Keep your senses aware when you see something that looks weird. Don't get too excited because you don't hear a noise at first. Just wait it out, and then maybe you will. Then start a check-off list. What did I see? Had no noise. How large was it? How long the tree line was it? What time it was? There's a recording, UFO Recording Institute up in State of Washington. One can post up anything that anyone saw.
MUFON.
Go back in later and see if they're
MUFON.org, I think it is.
Yeah, that's the UFO Recording Center. And that's good. So if you see something, and record it. I mean, you can record it anonymously if you want. just give you the location. There's another site that you can go to. I don't know it offhand. Pretty cool though. It's a document where all UFOs have been reported, and then you can look at how many in your area.
Okay, well, 5 seconds. Everybody, be fantastic. Thanks, everybody, for